Hi friends, welcome to our March newsletter. But before we talk about March, let's do a little recap of February. February was interesting here in Minnesota and western Wisconsin. It was cold, and then it was sub-zero freezing, and then it was cold again. And we had a lot of fun though. One of the things we did for our clients that are local here is we did this little pop by with these heart cookie cutters, and that was great, and we appreciated and had a great time kind of touching base with all of you, and you invited us in your homes. And even one client made us cookies with their cookie cutters, so that was kind of fun. And then also we had our first time home buyer event here in Happy Hour. Great success. We're going to do that probably at least biannually, so make sure you follow us on Instagram or Facebook so you are updated on those kind of events. Let's talk about March. I'm going to bring Connie Paulson on, and we will talk about local events and the Parade of Homes. So I consider you one of our local experts. You live in town, on the North Hill, you work downtown, you work here, we have our offices, you kind of got your finger on the pulse. So
I like to know what's going on.
Yeah. You keep us all informed. So what are some of the local, I'm going to back up for a minute because February and January were crazy in Stillwater. We had so many events. The Chamber was putting them on, JX was putting them on. And now March.
You almost couldn't keep up. There was so much going on.
So fun around here. And
now it's
we
calming
needed that.
down.
We needed that. It was winter. But now it's March and we have people going on spring break. We have, like I talked about, hockey tournaments and basketball tournaments. But what are some of the local? We still have stuff going on here.
We still do. So if you ever wanted to take your kids out to throw an axe, we got that happening here in Stillwater at the Lumberjack. So it's every Sunday afternoon, 3 to 6. You can bring your kids and have a little fun with them. Get them out of the house.
Do they throw free? Kids
they throw free.
Yeah, and I know it sounds a little scary, but it's actually a really safe environment. We've done it as a family. Of course, my kids are a little bit older, but it's super fun. And get the kids involved. Yeah. It's awesome.
Well, and the weather's kind of icky, so any place you can get indoors a little bit would be.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, it's St. Patrick's Day, so we've got, all the things that go with St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
Green beer at Thor's and green wine at St. Croix Vineyard.
And we talked earlier, we're like, so what kind of wine? It has to obviously be a white of some sort.
Yeah,
color.
But it'll be green in your glass.
Yeah, it will be green
It's going to taste better.
And we have our own Irish pub here in Stillwater. So
at Charlie's.
Yep, and they must have stuff.
They've got tons going on. They've got Irish music playing like the whole weekend of St. Patrick's Day. Irish food specials and drink specials. So you'll get it all there.
Yep. So come on down to Stillwater. Hudson, I know, has some stuff also going on for St. Patty's Day. So let's talk real estate, new construction. The Parade of Homes is also a big March event, starts in March.
Yeah, so that's fun. That'll start like March 12th and go through April 10th.
Yeah, and it starts the first weekend. It's usually Saturday and Sunday, and then it starts Thursday.
It's Thursdays through Sunday.
And I remember because we've repped builders where we've had to, host those homes noon to 6. Is that still the time?
I think that's the time.
And all over the Twin Cities, where can you get information?
Go to a holiday gas station. I think it comes in the local paper. If you buy the Sunday paper, you're going to find it.
Oh, yep. Kowalski's has them.
Wear your slip-on shoes. So if you're going to go check it out, you can easily slip your shoes on to go check.
I know.
Anyway, all the latest trends.
Right. Make it easy on yourself.
Yeah.
Also, we will post down below the website so you can check everything out. We always have our favorite builders, but check it out. It is so much fun.
It's a fun place to check out new trends, even if you're doing it for your own house. Figure out maybe what you want to redo in your kitchen, bathroom, and you'll go home and be inspired.
Yeah, exactly. Or discouraged.
Yeah.
You're like, dang,
I want the new house.
And then call us. We can help you.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, Connie.
Yep. Good to see you.
So as Connie mentioned, the Parade of Homes is a great place to check out some of the new construction trends. But what are those trends? We're going to talk to Sherry Hoffby, one of our realtors here at Truen Group, and find out just exactly what they are. So Sherry, now new construction. So we want to know these things because not only we have clients who are buying new construction, but we also have clients who are redoing their homes and they want to know what's trending and what's kind of traditional. And, so this year, what's new? What's something different people might not know?
Well, I think what we're really seeing is that people aren't just changing colors and patterns, but that actually we're seeing that people, probably since COVID, are really using and living in their homes. So
Right.
we are seeing the comeback of dining rooms, and actually people, really renovating their kitchens and dining spaces.
I want to go back to the dining room thing because as I've gotten to know you, you used to do a lot of dinner parties, either at your place or friends. You're always like, I was at their house for a dinner party. That dinner party thing kind of went away for a while. We all decided to go out to restaurants and do it differently. But now with COVID and just wanting to kind of get together again,
we're really learning to entertain at home. So we are seeing the return of the dining rooms and that whole thing where we're inviting people into our homes again more than we were. And that's even carrying out to the backyards. We're seeing outside bars, outside kitchens, not just a grill out there, but we're actually building in a grill and a cooktop out there, as well as around fire pits. You know, we're building our whole backyards out to accommodate more entertaining at home.
You and I visited a house, and it was in Wisconsin on the river. They had an amazing fire pit. I mean, it was built in all the way around it. You don't have to like haul chairs in and out. It was beautiful.
Yeah, no, that was really gorgeous.
I know.
That was an exceptional home.
The view was spectacular too.
Right.
What about some of that? So, okay, this is my thing, and I can get a little OCD on this. When you're talking about having more people in your home, and this kind of goes hand in hand with this, you also don't want all your stuff out for the world to see, right?
No.
So what's another trend we've talked about?
Well, the other thing that we're really seeing is that as people have spent more time at home, working at home, number one, more offices at home, but people are really getting organized. So there's all these different organizational things, whether it's sort of hidden cabinets or things that, in your bathrooms, your stuff isn't out.
Yeah.
We used to be in such a hurry to get ready to go, and now we're at home looking around, and it's like, let's get rid of all this. Let's hide this.
Right.
So we're really seeing organization in homes and different ways to get us organized.
Right. A lot of built-ins.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And what about color?
Well, we're seeing a little bit going away from the gray a little bit, and green's the color this year. So that's exciting.
All shades of green,
all
right?
All shades of green. So, yep. And a little bit away from the whites. We were just talking this morning about like cabinets in the kitchen. We're going away from that a little bit more too, and going towards beiges and greens in the kitchens too.
Yeah.
So
greens are very calming, kind of. Well, I guess it depends on the shade, but the one I'm thinking of is just kind of brings the outside in, and it's very nice. Right. And okay, I'm looking for countertops. What should I look for?
Well, so the current trend in that too is just more veining in the countertops, so more texture. It just brings more dimension into your area. So that's the big thing for this year.
So at the end, we always have a rehab corner. I'm gonna take everything you said because we're redoing our kitchen, and stay tuned. Might be a few months. We'll see what I pick for countertops, what I paint my cabinets. Who knows? I have to rethink everything now that I was just gonna go all white. So thank you.
Well, we can't wait to see it.
Yeah, me neither. Thank you. So in addition to watching new construction trends and design trends, here at Truen Group, we keep a very close eye on the market, and we want to update you on those numbers, not only hyperlocal or Minnesota, Wisconsin, but nationwide. And so to bring back who we haven't seen for a couple months, our friend Stephanie is here to give us the market update. So Steph, no big secret that inventory is down.
Yeah,
it's the bane of our existence right now.
Should we just cut this short and say inventory's low and prices are up?
Yeah.
No, but let's
repeat.
Get into it a
Rinse
little bit more
repeat.
than that.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat. I'm sure you hear this a lot more often, as well as I do. How's the market? I mean, it's a typical question you get all the time, but I will say with the volatility of everything going on with the stock market, I'm hearing it a lot more. So how is the market doing? And in relation to everything else that's going on, you know what? This is what we know. We know that interest rates are still low historically.
Yep.
We know that inventory is still low. That's what we know right now. It's still good. It's still good to buy a home. It's still good to sell a home.
Right.
So there's a lot of maybe uncertainty about the future, but we also know that real estate's great during inflationary times.
Right.
But taking a closer look at Stillwater, Lake Elmo, and Hudson, again, number of closings are down because inventory is down. So we had a drop in Lake Elmo, Stillwater, and Hudson, anywhere from 23 to 36% in just number of closings in this past February from year to year.
That's surprising.
It's a big drop.
It is
it's a big drop. And again, it goes to show you that we just don't have homes, or the new construction homes weren't completed yet.
Well, and okay, let's just really quickly with that. I mean, new construction, I mean, if they're not getting the materials, if the appliances are, I mean, I have
Delayed.
someone who had like built a 3-bedroom house and they closed with 1 bedroom completed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bathroom, because of, the fixtures not getting there. So that factors in.
Yeah, absolutely, everything factors in. It also drives those prices up. So an average average sale price, we saw an increase anywhere from 70 to 40% from year to year. And the sale price to listing price, those still holding steady about 90%, 95%. That's interesting also. I mean, in Hudson, I was at about 88% the sale price. Are we getting to points where maybe getting too aggressive with some list prices? Possibly.
Not us, but yes.
But not us, but
Right.
possibly you might be seeing that,
Well,
there's always a peak, right?
Yeah,
So-
well, it's hard for a seller because they see that, they got 50,000 over their asking, so we should price ours at 50,000.
Right.
That's not the way it works.
That's
so-
not the way to price a home these
Right.
days. You just still have to be within a perceived value.
Right.
And then you want to have them run to the home.
Right.
And be like a sense of urgency. But a price per square feet, because of materials, all that stuff, again, that's up 20 to 26%. So that all adds into things. People are remodeling homes to sell.
Right.
Well, that increases the price,
And
But-
when you're talking about these price increases, I know people are worried about inflation. They're worried about the interest rate going up, even though it's historically low. Think about this. People were worried about that at the beginning of 2021.
Yeah. We've
If
been
they
hearing
would-
it.
Right. If they would have bought then,
Uh-huh.
look at the equity they would have already had in their home.
I know.
So it's still a good time to buy because those prices are going up and you will continue to build equity.
Right.
You have to
It's-
remember that.
It's still a sound investment, and particularly as we have inflationary times,
Right.
real estate is a solid investment, whether it's your only home or you're talking about a second home.
Yeah.
When I look at March activity, it's interesting, the number of previously owned homes to new construction, roughly about half. Lake Elmo is a little bit heavier, it's like
Right.
60-40.
You have more new developments.
Right, we have more new development, and that kind of goes across the board, even for the whole county. Washington County is about 50-50 new construction to previously owned.
Yeah.
But we are still low, and we know it's still good to sell, it's still good to buy. And we can't predict a year from now, 2 years from
Right.
now, but we do know it is a good investment for life. But it's it's still very competitive. We're still seeing multiple offers. Interestingly enough, there was an article today in Star Tribune that talked about the 10 hottest markets in the Twin Cities, and they're all exurbs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's interesting with the COVID, we have a paradigm shift in what people can look for. We've talked about this before.
Yes.
You can have your home office and work an hour from work.
Right.
So we're seeing a lot more push out to the exurbs, and
Yeah.
I see that it's not going to change anytime soon.
Which is great so in the St. Croix Valley, like western Wisconsin. I mean, so I sold a house. You had the buyer.
Yeah.
This was how many? 3-4 years ago? It was pre-COVID.
4 years ago, yeah.
And your clients just got relocated. And in that short time, it was what?
Oh my gosh.
Like 200,000. It went up.
Yeah,
it went
it's
up a lot.
crazy.
And that was
yeah.
in western Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I was right over the river because people before COVID were like, is that just a little bit,
A
too
bit too
far?
far.
And now they're like, heck
Yeah.
yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I'm
As
starting
long
to see
as it's
people.
got good Wi-Fi, we're in.
Yeah, as long as it's got good Wi-Fi, and that bridge is open,
Yeah.
a whole new world.
It
And
was a whole new
yeah,
world.
Yeah, and people are, I'm willing to drive to get more home, or more space. More space is kind of, I mean, years ago when tiny houses were the rage, when I get a call about tiny houses, I don't get those anymore.
We don't.
I get,
you need like 6, one for every member of your family and your dogs.
I need like office space for 4 people.
Right, exactly.
So those are the calls we're getting. I don't see that changing anytime soon. I expect prices continue if we still continued with lower inventory. Interest rates, they're inching up, but this is
Still.
put it into perspective. Historically, these are still crazy low rates.
Yeah, they are. They're great. Thank you.
You're
Always good to have you here.
Oh, I love to chat.
So now that you know the market update and all the numbers, inventory is low, if you're looking to stay in your home and maybe doing a little rehab, or maybe you're looking to do some update to get it ready to sell, since it's a great time to sell, we have Chantel in our office coming on to tell us about her major rehab on her main level floor. So you bought your home a few years ago, I think 3?
2019, August 2019.
Yeah.
I only remember that because we bought it on our dog's birthday. We closed on Bogey's birthday, so he got a backyard for his birthday.
That's right, I remember that. Happy birthday, run! So it was a well-maintained, one-level home, but it hadn't been updated.
Right.
And you guys have done some extensive updating.
Yeah, so house was built in 63, I believe. And maybe some wallpaper in the 90s, but other than that, it was pretty much the extent of the updating. So we knew when we bought it, we had big plans for it. We knew the wall was coming down, which we've talked about before. The kitchen was going to be remodeled, all that stuff. It took us a couple years to really figure out how and when and how we were going to afford to do all of that.
Which is actually, this is a good idea. We tell our clients, sometimes you walk in and you know right away you're going to paint or take wallpaper down. But if you're not quite sure about these major things, live in it for a year.
Yeah.
See how your family functions, and then call us and ask us if it's a good idea.
Yep, I actually remember walking through it with you, and we were like, oh, we could do this like this, and you're like, but wait, you could do it like this, and then we had to sit and think about, like, how do we really want to live in this space? But one thing that we knew we really wanted to, other than taking down the wall, remodeling the kitchen, is like so many other new construction homes, you have your fireplace.
Right.
You have your fireplace, you have your TV above your fireplace. It kind of anchors the room.
Right.
And that was something we really wanted to do. So we did it. And I designed it, Lewis built it, and we were able to do everything for under like $800.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we always say we're balling on a budget.
Right.
And the fireplace is no different.
Right.
So it is just electric, but it really makes the house feel really cozy. And now that we've opened up the room, it's kind of when you walk in, something that grabs your attention.
Right. And we're, I think, putting up photos of the whole process.
Yes.
So, and you're very fortunate to have, your husband is very handy and can do that. So if either you or your spouse or partner are able to do this is something that DIY can do.
Yep,
But
for sure.
also, there are we actually have a list of handyman and contractors if you just need a little extra help. But what a great addition, especially this past winter.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yes. Yep.
It's just been cold and miserable.
Yep. So it's been great. We love it.
Yeah. Are we done now, or is there more?
There's always little projects to be done. There's definitely more. We currently are living with a hole in the floor from where we took the wall out, so there's definitely some finishing touches.
And I think in our April newsletter, we might have a new member to the team. So yes, you can set aside the rehabbing for a while and take care of your baby.
Yes, that's a plan.
Yeah, that's a plan. Thank you. So thanks for hanging out with us, and as we wrap up our March newsletter, March is when you kind of turn the corner from winter. I know we're still going to have some crappy weather. I mean, it's Minnesota, Wisconsin. It happens. But think about this. We have things to look forward to, like the high school hockey tournament, one of the biggest high school tournaments in the nation, and we also have basketball tournaments, and every other winter sport is wrapping up. Lots of fun going on around here in Minnesota. And then we talked about daylight savings is March 13th. We get to spring ahead. Connie and I talked about St. Patrick's Day. There's a lot of fun to be had here in the St. Croix Valley, both in Hudson, Western Wisconsin, Stillwater, all the way up and down the river. Make sure to check out a lot of the local restaurants, pubs, and bars. And then finally, March 20th, first day of spring. Hallelujah. So thank you again. A lot of the links and information we have is down below. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook to keep on track of what's going on in the St. Croix Valley.